That you held up that piece of paper. It's only this 2-page document. Like, I can't do one single thing on that 2-page document right now. So it requires quite a bit of flexibility on both ends. And I would hesitate to get involved in a school contract. So I thought about what are some of the problems that could come up. Well, for one thing, can I get enough volume for what they need? So in my situation, it would be Mount Vernon or Lisbon School District. So certainly fewer kids. But even that's a significant amount of food. Can I get it to them at the time they want it? So, you know, last year it was too cold and this year it was too hot. So everything we thought we knew was going to happen didn't happen when it was supposed to. And so, you know, how do you work with that? Is it going to be clean enough for them? I don't have a packing shed, and most of the farm operations around here that I'm aware of don't have a packing shed that amounts to too much. Maybe a lean-to and some tables, you know, and some running water. But am I going to be able to get it clean enough and get it packed and get it dried? Nothing's harder on produce than being wet and then not getting dry. And so, you know, do I set it out on the hay rack for a while and let the wind blow on it, or how do I get it dried out? I do have a walk-in cooler, but it's not that big, so I don't have a ton of storage in it. And silly me, I made the door exactly the width of a box, so that a box plus knuckles doesn't actually fit inside the door, so it's hard to get stuff in and out. I can't do any light processing, so I can't peel the carrots, and I can't, you know, do any of that kind of stuff and make it safe. Plus, it would add a lot of expense. So, for example, I had some green beans to sell this week. If they had to be snipped, I sold them for $2 a pound. If they had to be snipped, that would double probably the price that I would have to charge. And so that doesn't seem very doable. My boxes and my bags are non-standard. I use boxes from the Fairway. So my favorite right now is the little strawberry boxes because they hold exactly 10 pounds of tomatoes. So, but it's completely non-standard and it doesn't stack very well, so if it's going into somebody else's cooler, you know, that's going to be an issue. I buy my bags from Tyson's, and that, you know, Tyson's isn't famous for their food handling equipment. So, and I deliver in the back of my station wagon, and so I'm not as high as a dock. I can't pull it back up to a dock, so everything has to be lifted out, lifted up, carried in. Another question, can I grow the foods that they want at the right time of the school year? I think that's maybe a little bit more possible than we might think. Hoop houses are pretty amazing technology, and I think we could, I'm not very good at it yet, but I know people who are really good, and I think we could probably produce quite a lot of food at the right time of year, but is it the right food? So, you know, right now I got a lot of kale. Well, kids would probably rather have sweet corn, you know, so can we make the kind of food that I can grow at that time of year palatable to kids? Can they pay me enough? Can they afford it? Is it okay if it's irregular and blemished? So if all the cucumbers are not the same size, does that matter? It could, you know, it wouldn't have to, but it might. Can they use it fast enough? So I harvest things when they are ripe. And for example, yesterday I picked some cherry tomatoes. By today, I'm quite sure that they are past their prime. And they went to a restaurant. So, and he was going to use them right away. So, you know, can they keep things moving, these really ripe, really good quality things that I bring them? And do we need some sort of a broker to bulk the orders? We have somebody like that now. Local Harvest Supply is doing that. I think from the school's point of view, certainly it'd be better to have one shipment coming in than 20, you know, and 20 checks, 20 invoices, all the stuff that goes with having 20 farmers deliver things. I had some suggestions for what a school should look for. I would look for somebody who's experienced and proven themselves as a farmer, particularly if you want organic. Make sure that that person knows how to grow lots of food organically and has shown it in the past. I think you should look for somebody who's chemical-free, at least. Organic would be better. Do they need to be certified? Probably, maybe, I don't know. Can they self-certify? Maybe. I mean, I think you'd have to talk to them about that. But there is no real inspector who would come to my farm and say, yes, these cucumbers are suitable to take to a school and don't have any pesticide residue on them. And you know, so knowing sort of the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the ethics of the person who you're dealing with would be important for the school, I would think. I would also look for somebody who has insurance. liability insurance, and a lot of it. I would go on a tour of the farm and see if it looks right to you. I don't think farms have to be picture perfect, symmetrically aligned, mowed up to the edge places necessarily, but I don't know, you probably don't want the dog laying on the food, you know, so there's probably some in between there which is adequate, and it perhaps is a bit shy of the HACCP things. They were designed for someone else. So I'd say tour the farm, and I would also say that if you would need to talk to the farmer in January, we order our seeds. So we would need to know by the 1st of January that you were going to want food in September. And so you'd want to start now actually talking about what you're going to serve next school year so that the farmer could get the seeds and the plan and the field layout and everything ready. And then my number one, my number one comment would be we need way more farmers. There just isn't nearly the product that we need to meet the demand. So any young people who want an exciting, challenging, physically and intellectually, academically challenging career, it's farming. Okay.